Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Arrow Season 8, and just wow, I was going to wait to record this, but I thought I'm just going to record it straight after I finish the episode, so it's almost like a reaction. But this is my review for Episode 1 of Season 8, the final season of Arrow, otherwise entitled Starling City. Obviously, spoiler alert, if you have not watched the episode, don't watch this video, especially, wow. So much stuff happened in this episode, and that ending, what the hell was that? Anyway, obviously, yes, don't watch it if you haven't watch the episode. If you're going to enjoy the video, drop a like on it. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions and stuff. But man, obviously last season, just to wrap up the end of it, we saw the Monitor show up to Oliver and be like, yeah, you got to come and do some stuff for me. You made that promise to me in Elseworlds, and here we go. It just starts right from the beginning, doesn't it? The intro scene, it's the exact same as Season 1, Episode 1. It's the same footage, obviously, but with a couple of different things. The first thing being that we have a Batman mask there on the island instead of Deathstroke's. Interesting. That's all I'll say there. The other thing, obviously, was that it was our Oliver. It wasn't like, big bearded Oliver and stuff like that. It was our Oliver, and we find out that he'd actually, when he'd been sent to this Earth, he'd been placed on Lian. So it's almost like very fitting, if you want to call it. I don't know how. I think he'd just been there. I can't remember if in the episode they say if he got to Lian and then got picked up. I think that's what happened. I can't remember if they actually said it in the episode. But we do get the whole, pretty much stuff in the pilot. Pretty much this episode is the pilot mixed with elements of pretty much the pilot of Season 1 and the finale of Season 1 mashed into an episode, and why not? That's an awesome episode. So we get Oliver in the hospital, reuniting with Moira. So Moira is back in this episode, just like the pilot. Memories from this episode is pretty much the same. Obviously, the big difference here, though, is that it's actually been 12 years that Oliver's been gone, rather than 5. So, 5 years in hell. This Oliver, if he'd actually been there, had been 12 years in hell. So he would have been a much more damaged Oliver, most likely. But similar to the whole thing with, Season 1 of Arrow, Moira's gotten remarried, but it's not Walter Steele this time. Walter didn't show back up. It's actually Malcolm. Malcolm Merlyn is now Oliver's stepdad. So that's pretty interesting. Now, this basically from the get-go throws Oliver off, because I think Oliver knew what he was here for. It's like this different Earth, pretty much everything's the same. Not everything's the same, stuff is similar, but I don't think Oliver was expecting this at all, so it definitely throws Oliver off. Sorry for getting tongue-tied. But one of the big things is that Thea is actually dead on this Earth. Now, we find out that on her 18th birthday, she actually overdosed on vertigo. So, as you can see, they're just bringing in a lot of different elements from not even... Was that... Yeah, well, I guess it was Season 1, so even that vertigo showed up later. Just a lot of different elements from Season 1, like Thea being on drugs and stuff like that. Thought it was really well done how they managed to wrap it up and not make it feel forced. Thought it worked really well. But I really did like how he just basically gets straight into it. Like Oliver takes Moira's key card, and once again, like a similar scene from the pilot episode when it's like his first night back, he uses it to get into the, I think it's Queen Merlyn. Was it Merlyn Queen or Queen Merlyn Industries or whatever you want to call it, or Consolidated? Can't remember which one it was, but it was basically merged, Queen and Merlyn, and he's there to get some dwarf star particles. They're actually in the Queen Merlyn, if we'll call it, building. Now, when we get there, there's all these dead bodies, and I was like, okay, what the hell's going on here? This isn't good. And this is when he actually versus the Earth's Green Arrow. And at first I was thinking, surely this Earth's Green Arrow didn't kill those people there. But then I thought, no, that doesn't make sense. But we find out this Earth's Green Arrow is actually Adrian Chase. Now, he's called Adrian Chase. It isn't some weird Simon Morrison thing. He's actually called Adrian Chase. And Oliver is helped out there and just, I guess rescued, you could say, from this Earth's Green Arrow by Black Canary. Laurel's there. So this confirms that we are actually on Earth 2. There wasn't any clear indicators of that. Until Laurel basically says my Earth, because I guess the big thing that a lot of people will ask is what about the Robert Queen Hood, because he's from Earth 2, and then Oliver apparently died on the Gambit and stuff like that. So not too sure if there's any. I can't remember if there's any explained to that at all. If there is, let me know. I can't remember if there actually is any, but I think we're just meant to assume that this Earth. Robert still died on the Gambit. Anyway, because it was Flash that introduced that. It wasn't actually Arrow that did it. So maybe they're just doing a bit of a retcon to fit their story. Now, Laurel's bunker was pretty damn cool. Now, it had some other hero suits in the background. I know I saw Ragman. I think Vixen might have been there as well. I'm just going off the top of my head. But there were a couple of other hero suits there. But Adrian does actually call Laurel Pretty Bird, which if you're a Green Arrow fan from the comic, that's exactly what Oliver Queen would call Dinah Laurel Lance. So that's actually pretty cool to hear. That's actually the first time it's been said in Arrow's history, so that's pretty fitting that it comes in the final season. Now, Oliver does actually meet the Monitor, and again, it was actually in a bit of an unexpected place, because you'd think he'd be like, here's your next mission, and that would be like when the Monitor shows up. But he shows up to basically get Oliver in line and to stay focused and not to interfere with the events of Earth 2 outside of his mission, which I'm not surprised he did that, but it's surprising that that would be his appearance in this episode rather than just like another tease for something coming in the future or the next episode or something like that. But I think we're meant to get like a couple of appearances from the Monitor in this season of Arrow before Crisis rolls around. Now, the flash forwards, we do meet John Diggle Jr., who's like the leader of the Deathstroke gang, who's played by Charlie Barnett. I thought it was an interesting addition. But overall, just like pretty much like the back half of last season with these flash forwards, I found it pretty boring. Like whenever they showed up, I just wanted to get back to Oliver. It's no offense to, I guess, the people involved in the flash forwards. It's just that the present day is just so much more interesting, and I just don't really have that much interest in the future stuff. Like there's this spin-off coming on. I'm hoping, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the Mia Smoke character, if she's going to be involved, I hope it's set in present day, because the future to me in this universe, at least with Star City and the Glades, is just uninteresting. I just don't care for it. So I think I might struggle with that this season, but hopefully when they come on screen, just give me a time to like have a drink and just get my thoughts back to what's happening in present day. Now, there was a Felicity lookalike in this episode, which I thought was actually a nice touch. I thought that was pretty damn funny when she showed up. At first, I thought, no way, that's Emily Ricard. She didn't show up. Why would she quit? Why would she leave the show if she's just going to show up in episode 1? But I thought it was funny that they did the whole lookalike thing. And they also had, the person that runs the IT department was actually Curtis Holt. They had like a picture of him on the desk and stuff like that. So there's nice little ties there to characters from Arrow's past. Now, the big reveal of the episode was that the Dark Archer is actually Tommy Merlin. We get that when Green Arrow versus Dark Archer in Malcolm's office, when Oliver confronts Malcolm because he thinks he's the Dark Archer. Now, I'd been saying that this is probably going to be the case because they're going to twist it up. I doubt they'd make Malcolm Dark Archer again. I think there was a reason that Tommy was in this episode. I basically said Tommy's probably going to be Dark Archer. However, there's maybe a possibility that he could be the Green Arrow on this Earth if they wanted to change things up a bit. But I think it's fitting that Tommy was Dark Archer because it's been in the comics as well. So I like that. Now, we do have like Dinah and Renee in this episode. Now, Dinah is like a sergeant in the police force. She's basically like fills Quentin Lance's role in this episode from like stuff from the pilot. And Renee is actually like the bodyguard, I guess you could say, or like personal security for the Merlins. So yeah, that was their role in this episode from what we know at the beginning. But speaking of personal security, we do get Oliver meeting Diggle again. That it was nice. We see Oliver trying to escape the car again, but it's locked, and we actually find out this is Earth 1 Diggle, which I thought was a nice thing. I actually wasn't expecting that. I should have expected it because Diggle was in like the promo images and even the trailer for this episode, like interacting with Oliver as Green Arrow. But it just didn't. My mind wasn't focused on that, so it's actually a bit of a nice surprise that it was the Earth 1 Diggle. But one of the bigger reveals in this episode was, outside of Tommy being Dark Archer, was that I guess that Renee and Dinah work for Tommy. There's one reveal, but also Tommy took the Dwarf Star particles to level the Glades to get revenge for Thea. So that's what I was saying, where it's sort of like a mix of the pilot and also the finale or the back half of season 1 as well. So I guess that makes sense because you got to, as I said before, like it's been 12 years since Oliver left and all that stuff happened and Thea died and Tommy went through all that, I guess, that trauma of what happened with Thea. So I don't think it's as big as maybe like Malcolm Merlin's motivations, because obviously like his wife died and just from people in the Glades that didn't care, people walked over her body. But it's similar. And I must say, I did like when Oliver told Adrian that he is 10 steps ahead. Thought that was a nice little moment, and even just Adrian just questioning it as if like, hey, I've had that line in my head before. So I thought that was pretty funny. Now, I did like the rooftop fight between Oliver and Tommy, as I've said a couple of times or multiple times in this video, just basically like season 1 finale, rematch there. I thought it was pretty cool. And I did like how Oliver did the whole speech and Tommy thought, hey, nice speech. Thought that was pretty funny. And obviously, it wouldn't be an episode of Arrow if we didn't sneak in a bit of a Bruce Wayne reference there. So Adrian Chase knows Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne told him this quote about like believing the impossible or something along those lines. Like if the impossible is improbable, then believe it. Something along those lines. Whatever it was something like that. But yeah, the episode comes to an end. It's wrapping up. I'm like, okay, Oliver's getting ready to leave. He's got the dwarf star particles. That was his mission. And then all of a sudden, goddamn antimatter starts hitting Earth 2, and Earth 2 starts being erased and destroyed and just erased from existence. We're seeing people getting like dusted and just eliminated from existence, and I was just like, what the hell? But luckily Laurel shows up because she gets the distress stuff, the distress signal, and Diggles, once again, with just a bit of luck, Diggles got one of those things that Cisco gave him so he can travel through the multiverse, or at least open the breach, and they're able to get away just as Earth 2 is completely destroyed. So it's not just the characters that we met this episode that are gone. It's important to remember that Harry Wells and Jesse Quick were on Earth 2. Those characters were on Earth 2, so they're gone from this universe. They're dead. They're completely gone. So this was a massive revelation, and I wonder what's going to happen in the future episodes. Like, is each place we're going to be hit by antimatter, or is it just going to be every couple of episodes? Or I'm intrigued because that was a pretty big like mic drop right at the end of the episode, just to basically Crisis has started and real shit is going down. So that was just insane that happened at the end of the episode, and what a way to end it. But yeah, guys, that's this episode. I think I wrote on Twitter, it was just like a wow episode. It completely, this is exactly what I wanted the last season of Arrow to be like your throwbacks, your flashbacks, your memories and stuff, but just push everything forward into Crisis and just make everything just epic. I guess epic is the best way to put it, and I think they did the job here. The fight scenes were really good. As I said, the only downfall is the future stuff. I just find the future stuff really boring and uninteresting, and I sort of zone out when it comes on. But everything in present day is just so cool to watch. It's so fulfilling as well as being like Arrow fan since season 1 episode 1 when it first came out, but also just as a Green Arrow fan, just a DC Comics fan, seeing all the Crisis stuff happening. So love the episode, can't wait to see what they do going forward until Crisis. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on what we went over and your favorite parts from the episode, and I guess your reactions to that mic drop at the end of episode 1. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.